for
Okay,
my
so
preparation?
then the next thing that you should do is, again, go to my website, and there's a button on my website for IELTS preparation, and it has a lot of practice tests. Okay, there are many, many
Okay,
websites with
that's
IELTS practice tests. And if you take the practice tests, that will help you to get ready, to prepare for what kind of questions they're going to ask you. Okay. So, but, but Hassan, the point is everybody who takes a test, when they study, they often make one big mistake. They practice things that they're already good at. So they focus on practicing their strengths when they should be focused on practicing their weaknesses. So that's why I asked you, what is your weakness? Is it reading? Is it writing? Is it speaking? Is it listening? Because whatever your weakness is, that's what you need to spend the most amount of time working on.
I think I'm a little bit afraid of reading as it is
Okay.
hard to manage the time. It is
Okay.
hard to answer the 40 questions in 1 hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And again, that's another great exercise to use ChatGPT for, where you can ask it to create some academic level, IELTS level reading passages for you to read and questions to answer under a time limit, right? So you can ask
Uh-huh.
it, okay,
I
give
haven't.
me some sample questions or sample
Oh,
reading about that.
oh, that's awesome. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, you can use, I mean, guys, you can use ChatGPT for so many things. I use it every day, and you can use it to help you with writing. You can use it to help you with reading. You can practice speaking with it. You can talk to it to improve your conversational, like improvability, which means improvisational ability, right? Um, so it's great for many, many things. But you have to be creative and think about how to use it. Okay.
Yes, teacher, I do use this, but uh, I have one question for you. How can I take
Okay.
top-notch preparation in a short time? I have only 10 days in my hand before my exams.
10
So,
days. That is not a lot of time. Um,
yeah,
okay. So here's my last piece of advice then, Hassan. Do the best you can in the next 10 days to focus on your reading and focus
okay.
on just practicing as much as you can to get ready for this exam. But, Hassan, the other piece of advice I often give about the IELTS test or the TOEFL test is I tell people that you should take it more than once if you can. I know it's expensive, but you should try to take it more than once. It's a very difficult test. And Hassan, if you know you're going to take the test again, then you are going to be
Yeah.
more relaxed this time, right?
Ah,
So that's
that
why
is that
it's
is so
it's a
useful.
it's a good idea to just put it in your head, everybody, that you're going to take the test again. And that way you can relax a little bit more and take this test. And because you're relaxed, you'll probably do better. Right.
Uh-huh.
So,
Thanks.
so
Ah,
that's what I would suggest to you, Hassan, is just focus on your weaknesses as much as you can for the next 10 days, and do the best you can on the test. And then once you finish, start studying again because you're going to plan to take it again. Okay.
last things, teacher. Do you have some specific advice for the IELTS writing format?
Not specific advice, the same thing that I just told you. Just go to my website. There's a bunch of IELTS preparation links there where you can practice writing as well. And you can use ChatGPT for that as well. You can ask ChatGPT to give you a writing test, ask for writing questions or things like that. Okay. So do that. Go to my website. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Thanks a lot for your useful advices. Thanks again.
You're very welcome,
Tata.
Hassan. All right. Take care, my friend. And yes, just go to my website. That is exactly what I'm telling people because I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time, everybody, building that website, and I created one page that has every resource you need right there on it. Okay, so AFIECEnglish.com. Okay, let's go to Pan. Hello, Pan in China. Thank you for being patient.
Hello, Teacher Mark. This is Pan.
Yes, hello. And you're in what city?
I'm in Guangzhou.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what can I do for you?
Yeah, respectfully, I learn English a lot, but now I'm in work for almost 10 years, and now I'm losing the English skills. But
Mm.
in my job from in our industry, I'm in working for foreign trade, so I still need to use English. And my question is that I need to communicate a lot with foreigners using by English, but for some specific words I need to use in our industry, I'm not so much familiar. Like
Okay. Right.
yeah,
Terminology from your industry.
some shipping industry.
Okay. All right. And so you're trying to learn these words. How are you trying to learn these words?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, what are you
Uh,
doing
uh,
now?
mm, most of my time, maybe I send emails. I still by learning these words in
Yeah.
our work, but not so
Okay.
good enough.
Okay. So, yeah, well, this is another kind of thing that you can just do a search online for this. Every industry has terminology in that industry, right? It means words that are used in that industry. Sometimes we call it jargon. Jargon and terminology. Those both mean words that are used in a specific industry. And yes, the website is free. You just have to give me your email, but it's free. So yes, if you do a search online for shipping industry vocabulary or terminology, you should find some. Let me do it. I'm going to search for you right now. Shipping industry. Okay, like bill of lading, carrier, container, um, consignee,
Yeah. That's the word
cargo, right?
I'm using now. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all words that you need to use, right? So all I did was a simple search, and here's what I found. Oh, this is perfect. This is what you need right here. Let's see how comprehensive is this. Well, this looks pretty comprehensive. So here's what you need. I'm going to send this to you in the chat. This is a website that has a glossary of international shipping terms. Okay, so let me see if I can send this to the chat here. Give me a moment.
And while you're typing, I also have to mention about this that because in mainland China, that lots of the website we cannot get in touch with.
Yeah, I know, but the majority of my followers in China can use my website. Some cannot,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to be very consistent. So most of my, I have many Chinese followers. Most of my students are Chinese, and so most people seem to be able to use it okay. Some people, yeah, you need to use a VPN. So here is the website with the shipping stuff. It won't just copy, will it? Well, that's not fun. Let me see. Let's try this way. There we go. Try to copy this website or take a picture of it.
Oh, that's a long one. Yeah.
It's a long one. Yeah, it's a big long one. But it's shippingsolutions.com is the website, and they have a glossary of international shipping terms there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. It looks like it's a very comprehensive, long list of international shipping terms.
I got it. So that means any words that I cannot understand, maybe I could look up from this website first.
Yes, you can. And let me give you one more thing that you can do. You can take this website and if you talk to DeepSeek or ChatGPT and link this link to it, give ChatGPT this link and say, I'm trying to study this website, which has an international glossary of shipping terms. Please reference that website and help me learn these terms. It will look at the website and it can instantly read all of that information and understand it. So once it looks at the website, once you give it the link, now you can ask it questions about this and it will know everything based on this website.
Wow.
Okay, so you can have ChatGPT help you learn based on what you're trying to learn.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Great. Yes, and also
I don't care which. You can use whichever one you want. DeepSeek or I don't care.
DeepSeek now. ChatGPT with that because I haven't using ChatGPT a lot.
So your question is, what's the difference between ChatGPT and what?
DeepSeek.
Oh, not much. There's not much difference between the two. I mean, Pan, I even thought it was really funny. I read an article that DeepSeek got confused. And when people asked it, "Are you ChatGPT?" Because it thought it was, I mean, it's there. That's what that means is that even it can't really see that much of a difference between the two of them. That they're both doing the same thing. They're both musicians playing the same songs. So what's the difference, right? If you can go to two bars, one bar on this street and one bar across the street, and there be two musicians in there, and they could both be playing the same songs, and they both could be great. Right. So who cares? And the next day somebody's going to ask you, which one was better, and you're going to say, Chabador.
You got humor too. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So they're both fine. They're both good. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. It's a good enough tool for us now.
Yeah. Right. They're both amazing. I mean, put it this way: good enough is a silly way to describe a tool that's an amazing tool. It's one of the most amazing tools that humanity has ever had. Yeah. The problem is, can you imagine that we have a tool that has more power than any tool we've ever had in the world, and everyone has access to it, or almost everyone has access to it, but the majority of people aren't using it, and the people who are using it aren't using it very well. It's sad. It's really sad. Like, we've been given this gift, this incredible gift of technology, and barely anybody is using it, and the people who are using it aren't using it very well. Yeah.
I got it now. I don't want to take too much of your time. You got lots of one on your list.
All right. Well, Pan, thank you for coming, and you sound great. Just keep working on it, okay?
Thanks. It's a pleasure to meet you here.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hello, is it Abdul?
It's Abdullah. Hi to you.
Abdullah. Hello, Abdullah.
Yeah, hi.
I'm fine. Yeah, thank you for coming. Are you in Tehran?
No, I used to live in Tehran, by the way, but I moved to a small city called Mahabad, which is in the northwest of Iran. It's a very beautiful city.
Okay, great. All right. And what can I do for you today?
First of all, I want to thank you for letting me come on stage and talk to you. It's an honor for me already because you are such an amazing guy. You have been doing this live stream classes for quite a long time, and you have been doing amazingly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. And Abdullah, please give me just 1 second. Hey, guys in the chat, this is a classroom. Please grow up. All right, guys, people are here to get some help. Don't be stupid and type stupid stuff in the chat, please. Come on. I'm here giving you my time. don't disrespect my time by wasting it with nonsense in the chat. Okay, if you're not here to learn, then just go. All right, it's that simple. I don't want to have to kick people out. Just please be nice to each other, respect each other, pay attention, listen. All right, thank you very much. Let me continue now. All right, I'm sorry, Abdullah. Could you please pick up where you left off? And you were about to tell me what you need from me. Yes.
Yes, actually, I'm an English teacher and I've been teaching it for almost 2 years and a half, and I'm quite fluent in this language. But I want to get to that level of fluency that I can sound like a native speaker. So, what can I do? And what's your best piece of advice for me as an English teacher, as a native speaker, as a person who I really admire?
Okay, let me ask you this simple question. What's your favorite food?
Oh, that's a very nice question. We have a local food called orma sabzi, and that's my favorite.
I was going to ask, do you love gourmet sabzi? So okay, then I think you should go out and go to a restaurant and get yourself some nice gourmet sabzi tonight. You know why?
Yeah, tell me why.
I'll tell you why. Because you're already as good as a native.
Yeah, that's
It's such a weird question. When people say, I want to sound like a native, you guys have to remember there are like 300 million natives and they don't all sound great. So the majority of them don't speak that well at all, to be honest with you. So I have lots of followers in Iran and I speak with lots of Iranians, and so many of them have amazing English. And again, Abdullah, sorry, your English sounds great now. I don't know how you want to improve it exactly, but you already have a level that's better than some natives.
Yeah,
So what I would say is, are you worried about things like accent?
I think I don't have any clear accent. That's my perspective.
Well, I completely disagree. Your accent is very clear. Your accent, I can hear that you're from the Middle East, and maybe even I'm getting better with hearing the Iranian accent, but I can hear you're from the Middle East, but I also can hear all of your words very clearly in English. So you do not need to sound like me, Abdullah. You just need to sound clear.
Yeah,
okay. So as long as you sound clear, you don't need to get rid of your accent. All right. Here's what I tell people, Abdullah. Your accent is kind of like if you buy a box of crayons for drawing. Crayons come with many colors, right? And nobody wants to buy a box of all black crayons or all gray crayons. You want all the colors, red, yellow, blue, green, all these different colors, right? And if I ask you to draw something, like if I ask you to write your name, but I want you to write your name very small, very, very with the crayon, I want you to write your name very small. Can you write your name very small if the crayon is not sharp?
No, of course I can't.
That's right, you can't. So my question is, if the crayon is not sharp, and that means you can't write your name clearly, should you sharpen your crayon or should you change to another color?
Sharpen.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say about your accent. You don't need to change to my accent. You just need to sharpen yours to make it clear.
Gotcha.
Understand the analogy?
Yeah, very nice.
So your accent is a color and your accent is a beautiful color. Don't change colors. Keep your color, but just sharpen it so that it's clear. Okay. There's one other aspect of accents that I think people don't remember, which is that if you get rid of your accent, if you try to get rid of your accent completely, you are actually, I know you're not trying to do this, but by getting rid of your accent, it's kind of like saying you're embarrassed of your culture.
But I'm
right.
Yes.
Right, but you're not, so you shouldn't. Exactly. That's exactly right. So if everybody in the world got rid of their accents when they spoke English, it would be kind of like you're saying you're ashamed of that culture. So that's why I don't approve of the idea of getting rid of accents at all. I love accents. I want everybody to have their accent. I just want everybody to make their accent clear. Okay?
Great, yes. such a nice piece of advice. Thank you. But I
You're
have another
welcome.
question. I have some students and I teach them usually from scratch, from basic to advanced levels. And when I teach, for example, my basic English learners, sometimes it's very hard for me to find some suitable podcasts for them according to their level. Do you have any specific websites or anything like that that can help me?
Suitable podcasts for children, for kids. What age?
Age 13, 15, 16, something like that.
13, 15. Okay, so like nearing, junior high school
Yeah,
level. Okay.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me think about that for just a moment. Um, and how good is their English?
They are at the basic level, sometimes
They're at the
at the
basic
intermediate
level.
level.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And you want them to, so have you tried National Geographic Kids?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's a website called National Geographic for Kids. And National Geographic has been around for decades and decades and decades. And they've been a great source of international, global articles about culture and about animals and flora and fauna and all kinds of interesting things about nature in the world. But they have a kids version. They make kids books that are awesome. I used to have a whole series of their kids books in my classroom, and my students loved them. So I
Yeah,
highly recommend if you can get those. Those are great. But also the National Geographic website, kids website, is great, and it has lots of simple videos to watch and things to listen to. I think so. I'd start there. Um,
yeah, thank you.
oh,
Anything else?
then it is hard to find stuff for kids at a basic level. I
Mhm.
think that's what I'm gonna say. Start with that, and then Abdullah, if that's not suitable or not working for you, send me a private message and I'll see if I can do a little search for you and find some better stuff for you. Okay.
Yeah, of course, I'll do it. Okay. And another
All right.
question. Let's
Very
see.
quickly, Abdullah, because there are many people with questions here.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yes, sorry. Okay, so let me just put it into very simple words and make it very quick. The other question is about I when I talked to ChatGPT, because you advised many times exactly tonight to
Mm-hmm.
talk to ChatGPT. For example, my speaking is about 8 and 8.5, sometimes 9,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
how trustworthy ChatGPT is in regarding his its evaluation.
I think it's pretty good, but I think that just like any test, if you want a more accurate number, then you need to aggregate that number. So that means that you should just do it many, 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 many times. If you do it 100 times and 100 times it tells you that you're an 8 or an 8.5, then that's probably pretty accurate,
Hmm. Yeah, Java's
right?
for a few times it's not dependable. Yeah.
Um, well, no, the exam is dependable too because the exam asks a lot of questions, right? So there are two ways to get a decent accurate number. One is to either have one test with 1,000 questions, or two is to do 100 tests with 10 questions, or
Hmm.
something like that. Um, so either way should get you a pretty accurate answer, but the trick is you have to have a large enough answer. So, for example, there are many free English tests online to give you, your level, but those are terrible because they're only 20 questions. You cannot accurately assess somebody's English level with only 20 questions.
Yeah, of course, totally
Okay.
agreed. Because we provide many
So
topics.
it
Yeah.
should be pretty good if you keep using it and keep trying it, keep asking it. If it's consistent over time, then it's probably a fairly accurate answer. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ask
thank
it
you.
to be
So,
very, very critical of you. Ask it to be more critical of you. It will.
mhm.
If you want to raise the bar, then tell it to raise the bar. Okay.
Yeah, of course, I'll do it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Abdullah, thank you so much for coming. I need to let you go, but come back and see me again sometime. Okay.
Yeah, of course, I'll take care of yourself. Stay positive, and I wish and that you can do better in your job. And actually, you said you were under weather and you felt kind of sick. May Allah help you and heal you, because I'm a Muslim and I believe in Lord. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes I'm not in the mood to teach, but I still try. It's my job. So, um,
Yeah, welcome.
and Neymar's back. Hello, Neymar. Thank you for coming back. What can I do for you? And let me get some other people up on stage here.
Okay, hello. How are you doing, teacher? I'm
I'm
pretty
fine.
good.
Good. What can I do for you today?
Okay, teacher, I have a simple question that I'm struggling that how can I test my level because I'm saddened by self-study.
So you want to know how to assess your level?
Right, of course.
Well, that's what I was just telling Abdullah a second ago. Is you can ask ChatGPT to assess your level, but it might not be accurate if it doesn't ask you enough questions. So what you should do is you should ask it to well, you can do one of two things. You could ask it to make a long test for English, right? So ask it to create an English assessment test with at least 100 questions, guys. If it doesn't have at least 100 questions, you're not going to get a real accurate assessment. Okay, so ask it to make a test with at least 100 questions to assess your English level. Okay, and then you can ask it to do that test several times and vary it each time. And if
Okay.
you can take that test a couple of times, and each test is slightly different, whatever it tells you, whatever the result is, those results, that's going to be more accurate. It'll tell you whether you're doing well or not. But to be honest with you guys, I think you guys focus way too much on this level stuff. I think you focus way too much on these numbers. I think you need to put your head down and work. There are things that it's kind of like, let me think. It's like something that you need to polish, right? And you need to polish it to make it look beautiful. But every time you polish it, instead of just polishing, you keep measuring it somehow to see if it's better rather than just polishing. You just keep measuring. So that's what I feel like you're doing when you're taking these tests and you're trying to figure out what level you are. Instead of polishing, instead of just working, just doing the practice, you keep measuring it. Okay, so
teacher,
yes.
sometimes we get curious about our improvement, our
Yeah, of
development.
course, and that's good. It's good to be curious about your improvement, but I'll tell you what, the best way to do that, Neymar, is write. Because if you write over time, you can look at your writing from last year and you will see a difference. Your writing it's a record of your progress. Okay? So let me put it to you this way. Not just writing, any kind of recording. If you make a recording of yourself, make a video of yourself, everybody. Every day, make a little video of yourself speaking English. Just a 10-second or 20-second video of you speaking English. Do that every day and then record them. Don't even look at them. Then come back next year and look at them. Now you will see progress.
Right. But teacher, I'm confused about two words. One of them is produce and another one is manufacture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it means they mean similarly.
Yeah. In most cases, those are interchangeable. Let me show you here. Hold on one moment. All right. So, yeah, in most cases, I think the word produce and manufacture can be used interchangeably. This factory produces tires. This factory manufactures tires. That's the same thing. Now, there could be some small differences. Let's see. If you look at so it's basically the only difference is between the scale of production, like how big is it, right? So produce could be a smaller word, like a more general word, but it could refer to a smaller thing. Manufacture is for usually a factory, right? So what does your store what they manufacture? But a factory, I would say, what does your factory manufacture? Okay, so let's say that manufacturing is large scale production.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I understand. Okay, teacher. But teacher, I'm a little curious. And how do you think about my speaking? Is it understandable for you? Like,
Yeah, you sound pretty good, I think. The only thing I would say, Neymar, is you sound a little bit hesitant, a little shy or a little hesitant to speak. And that could just be your personality, and that's fine if it is. But when you speak any language, it doesn't matter what language you speak, you need to remember that language is about confidence. If you want people to believe you, then you have to sound like you believe in yourself. Right? So if I
right.
walk into a room, and I say, "Hey everybody, I think there might be a fire," nobody's going to listen to me. But if I walk into a room and I say, "Everybody, get out right now! There's fire. The building is on fire." Now people will listen to me because I sound like I believe in my words. Do you understand?
Yeah, teacher. Actually, I have lack of confidence. But
Yeah, I understand. Well, I used to be like that too, and I still am. Everybody is that way about things sometimes, but you just need to remember that if you don't believe in your words, then why should anybody else believe in your words?
right. I will keep
Okay?
in my mind.
Yeah, remember that, man. All right, Neymar, thank you for coming. Come back and see me again sometime, okay? You're doing great. Just keep working on it.
Okay, thank you, teacher, for your helping. I appreciate it. Good
You're
night.
welcome. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. Evelyn, hello, Evelyn in Colombia. Thank you for being patient.
Hi, teacher.
Hello.
Don't worry about that. Hi. How are you?
I'm okay. And yourself?
I'm doing well, teacher. Thank you.
Good. And what can I do for you today?
Okay. Now I'm living in Portugal, but it's very difficult to me because I am learning two languages right now. Portuguese and
yeah.
English, but
Right.
it's very difficult to me think a lot of things about learning both language. So
Right. Well, you speak Spanish already, though, so there are many similarities between Spanish and Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like the grammar should
same.
be okay, I think. It's just the different pronunciation, the different words, the different vocabulary a little bit, right? And English, so Evelyn, there is a relationship there, right? There are some words that will be easier for you to learn because they have a relationship to Spanish, right?
Yes.
But it is difficult to learn more than one language at the same time. And sometimes when those languages are more similar, it's actually more difficult because it's easier to get confused.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're so similar. It's like you forget which
Yes, of course.
you forget which one you're supposed to do.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that I love when people speak to me in Portuguese, but when I try to speak them, I mess up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
I speak Portuguese, so it's very difficult because I understand, but.
And how long have you been in Portugal?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. So you're still new. You're still learning. You're still new.
Yeah.
And that's great that you started learning the language. That's good. That's a good thing. So, you know what I think I would do? I'll tell you what I think I would do for you, Evelyn. Is one of my favorite kinds of learning books for language are travel phrase books. Travel books for language. Those are some of the best books that you can get to study of language. Why? Because a travel book is a book that is small and it has all the most important things you need to know to start using that language quickly. So when you buy a travel phrase book for Portuguese, it's a book that's meant for somebody who's just going on a 2-week vacation to Portugal. But imagine if you take that same book and you use it. You live there. Just use it now as someone living there. It can tell you what to say at the bank, at the restaurant, when you introduce yourself. It can tell you what the most important parts of the grammar are, what the local vocabulary is that you need to know. It can tell you about local customs and culture, right? So there are many great travel phrase books out there, and I would suggest you get one for Portuguese and maybe even get one for English too, and just start with that. And keep them, either keep them in your phone digitally or buy the real books. They're tiny. I love travel phrase books because they're these cute little books that are like, they fit in your hand. And you can put them in your purse and you can take them wherever you want to and study with them when you need to, right? So that would be one thing I would suggest. And then, I don't have a lot of magical tips for this because learning more than one language at the same time is a difficult thing to do. It's just hard.
Yeah.
What I would suggest is do the best you can to remember to practice the languages in your mind every day. So right now you're thinking in Spanish all the time. You need to try to spend some time thinking in Portuguese a little bit, and you need to spend some time thinking in English a little bit. So choose some things that you do every day. For example, maybe cooking. Cooking would be a good one that every time you cook from now on, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, instead of thinking in Spanish, try to think in Portuguese. Okay? And every time you watch TV at night when you're relaxing, think a little bit in English. Use simple English to try to make comments about what you're watching in your mind. You don't have to say them. You can just, in your mind, think about English. Use English in your mind to comment on what you're watching. Okay?
Okay.
But the point is that cooking and making food, or eating, I should say, cooking and eating, those are things that you have to do every day consistently. So if you turn those consistent things into consistent practice, now you have consistent practice, right? So that's why I like to use things like eating and things like, getting ready in the morning in the shower and brushing your teeth. That could be good practice time for language. Watching TV is good practice time for language. You can relax and enjoy your shows and TV shows and movies just like you normally do. But while you're watching, try to see if you can have some of your thoughts in English rather than Spanish. Okay? Or in Portuguese rather than Spanish. Okay?
Okay, teacher. It's a good advice.
All right. All right.
Yes. Okay.
Anything else, Evelyn?
No, teacher. Is that all? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Well, great. Well, thank you for coming, and come back and see me again, okay?
Okay, of course. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
See you.
And